Welcome, welcome. Mr. Joseph Trades here. On an extremely brutally cold Tuesday morning in North Georgia. Let's see. It's the 16th of December. I haven't started my Christmas shopping yet. I imagine I better get on that. First, a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Education and entertainment purposes only. Alright, now that we've got that out of the way, I hope everybody's doing good. We've now officially rolled over into the March contract on the NASDAQ. The symbol for that is MNQH 2026 if you're trading micros like me. Yeah, I guess I better pull up my NinjaTrader and get my workspace ready. We've got about 10 minutes to go before the open. See if I can get something going without technical difficulties today. That'd be amazing. All right, pulling it up, looking at the 4-hour here. Looks like we're gonna mark up some levels so we can have a better idea of how to frame today's action. What was yesterday? Yesterday was Monday, right? What'd they say? Today. Show y'all what I'm going to be trading in a second. I blew one account yesterday that I just got. It was a pro account, and I've got another pro account with Take Profit Traders, so I'm going to be trading it and copy trading a Tradify account that I did extreme damage to yesterday when I was in a rage. So let me go ahead and set that up. Do a little ratio action. Show you how I set that up. So my lead, this is my Replicanto. It's a trade copier, and my lead account is this 366, which is a brand new, you can see it right here, 366. And I'm using a ratio. And the account that I'm going to be following is one I obliterated yesterday, but fortunately they have like a daily loss limit, so I still have about 3,000 in drawdown on it, but it's not in good shape. Do a ratio of 2, so like if I trade 5 micros on this, it'll do 10 on that. And this is a 150,000 account, so if I trade smartly and only wait for my highest quality setups and be very patient, which has been my problem, as Dr. Newman has pointed out to me numerous times. But if I do that, I have no problem with that size of risk. So let's just double check this. We've got the MNQ March, right? Leader is 366, and that's my follower. Okay, all that's good. I'll put that on my other screen now. All right, I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to go ahead and get my, it's going to be the size I trade with on that account. Now let's do a little, got about 8 minutes before the open. Take a look at the charts. See what we're dealing with. This is yesterday was indeed Monday. Yeah, let's mark this prior session high, 670. I like to use a red ray for the prior session high. Don't worry, I'll change the color in a second. prior session high makes it real easy to see. What was the prior session low from yesterday? Wait a second. Yeah, that was Monday. Okay. So during the normal hours, the prior session low. That was after hours. 345. Is the low? Yeah, this was the prior session low. It was 286.5. Which has already been taken by the post-market action from yesterday, but market anyway. Change the color. Now we have a few other levels of note that I like to mark out. So far we have an overnight low. That happened about 2:30 in the morning. An overnight low of 073.75. Hard to get these levels just right unless you, here we go. And I like them to be just right, I'm just like that. All right, that's the overnight low so far. Let's check the overnight high. Overnight high so far is 383.5, so mark that out. I mark those levels because they tend to be tested by price. So they're areas of interest along with a few other levels you might see, such as this 200 EMA happens to be around the area of a pivot point. I think that's an interesting level. That like a neutral blue color. Okay, that's an interest. Is that blue or green? I don't want it to be green. I want it to be blue. Right, it's changing it. Can't get it to look exactly like I want. Oh well, it's an area of interest, right? It's what they call a confluence. I always thought that was a silly word. Excuse me, we got real quick. Whenever I see these YouTubers talking about different levels that come together and they say it's a confluence, I always thought that was a cheesy word, but you do have a confluence there. I like to say it's just a couple of levels getting together. Let's see if we have any red folder news today. I always want to check that. Red folder news. Let's see, today's the 16th. Well, we had, that can't be right. They already did non-farm payrolls, and that's all it was? Okay. That was like a big nothing burger, as they say. Am I on the right day? Don't they usually do non-farm on Fridays? And like the first Friday of the month? Why in the world is non-farm on the 16th of December? Does that have something to do with politicians? Probably so. Not only did we have that, we had U.S. retail sales, average earnings. Now, some things that are coming up, and I'm glad I looked at this because you don't ever really want to be in a trade when pardon me. Oh yeah, can y'all hear me? I know what I had to say is very important. I just realized my microphone was about 8 feet away from me, but I think it's a good microphone, so it's probably not going to be a problem. Like I was saying to my many viewers out here, you don't want to be in a trade when a red folder item is released. Why? Well, because it's sort of a gamble. Like, you want to see how the market reacts to the news. You don't really want to anticipate the market's reaction to the news. Check out this 4-hour time frame chart of the current contract. Look how price rolled over after being in this bull channel. Sometimes when channels get broken to the downside, they have a two-legged move and then a retest of the channel's high. But, you know, that's what they say. I don't know how reliable that is. All I know is right now we're below the EMA on the 4-hour, meaning we're in a bear bias, higher time frame. But that being said, look what happened in the middle of the night. Oh, we've opened. All right, blah, blah, blah. Let's see what happens. All right, the market's opened. I'm gonna try today to, especially since we have red folder news, to not get too early of a trade. At the open, price oftentimes likes to test the overnight high or low if it's close. And in this case, we've got the overnight high, the 200 and a pivot point. That was the news candle too. A lot of times news candles like to be tested. Like they're extremes. But I've been burned so much on trades in the first 5 minutes these past few days that I'm being a little sissy boy today. And I know what's gonna happen is it's gonna test it because I'm choosing to be a sissy boy. Watch it. Watch it test right here because I'm not in it. Here. It's gonna test this because this is a range. One of my goals today is to wait until 10 before I place a discretionary trade. I do have my algo running on my computer downstairs. Show you. Look at this act. Look at this quote unquote price action. Look how choppy. Anyway, I'm gonna do, if I can avoid taking a crummy trade in the first 5 minutes, I'll be doing good today. So this right here is a brand new Tradeify instant funded account that I bought for myself for a Christmas present yesterday. And so I'm only gonna trade it on my algo that I have. I'm not gonna do anything foolish with it like monkey around. Discretionary. Oh, you might say, well, why are you monkeying around discretionary here? Well, I don't really know because I was encouraged to. I was just saying that one of my goals today, especially given that we have red folder events at 9:45 and I believe 10, is to wait until after 10. So that's one of my goals. Let's see. I haven't done it yet. We have 9:45, we don't have anything at 10, but I know what's gonna happen is Price is gonna test right here because I'm not taking it, because I'm being a little sissy boy. Watch, it's gonna pump and test the high of this bear candle. But I was encouraged by a very wise old friend to just wait for my A+. And I haven't been taking A+ the past few days. I've been too eager to get something on the board, and we've all seen how that's worked. So no. I'm gonna try to wait until after 10 o'clock today. Now, if I had an A+, it's a little different, you know. If you have an A+ in the first 5 minutes, that's okay to take. But if you don't and you're just trying to get something on the board real quick, that's not wise, and that's what I've been doing. So I've got to change that. Right now we got a bunch of chop suey action, but I still imagine that Price will test the high of this nice little chop range, and then who knows what will happen. You know, I miss fishing. No, I haven't been fly fishing. I've had a whole year off, but it hadn't really been off. It's been a lot of melancholy, a lot of sleeping. I'm just kidding. That's only been a little bit of it. It's been a lot of work developing my algo, and I didn't get to go fishing in the spring. I didn't get to go fishing in the fall because I was too darn busy. And now that I've got a regular gig starting back up today, and I've got half of my algo strategy enacted, I'm gonna have a lot more free time to go fishing and thinking about what I can do better as a discretionary trader. There it goes. It's gonna pop up and test it because I'm being a little cuck. Yeah, let me just sit on the stool and watch it. There it goes. Could have made alright, keep going. Yeah, you know you want to keep going up. There it goes. See, I would have already made like 20 points. But I'm trying to be disciplined. Gotta be disciplined. Wait for my highest probability opportunities. I just love when that happens. Oh. It's maddening. But the thing is, if I would have taken it, it wouldn't have worked out. Probably gonna keep going up now to the pivot point. Nah, I don't think it'll do that. It's more likely that it just rotates in this little range until 9:45. Unbelievable. Just as soon as I don't get in something that I see, it works out. The one time this week. That's the way the week is going. You know, when that happens, even though I haven't lost any money, to me that's a major irritant and a major tilt trigger. So right now, my tilt threshold has gone from I was at 0, and now I'm at 6 on a scale of 1 to 10. That just shows you how easy it is to ape out. Because when you see something that coulda, woulda, shoulda happened, it doesn't matter. You missed out. But now I just have to get that behind me and know, and this is where you have to like step back from the monkey overriding the brain and just know beyond a shadow of a doubt that there will be more opportunities that present themselves if I'm just patient. And that was not an A+ setup, but I've seen this price action so much that I just knew. I knew it was going to test the top of that bear candle, and that's exactly what it did. Good thing I had a nice comfortable stool to sit in while I watched the action. Dr. Newman, you remember that time we went fishing in Helen and I was fly fishing and you had like a spin bait and you were catching fish like every 3 minutes, and I was walking around like a dummy trying to catch those fish. Most of the people in there were fishing with worms. At least you were using a spin bait, and I was thinking I could get a fish with a fly. I did eventually, but I had to go way upstream where there were a lot less people. It took me about, I think I probably waited about 3/4 of a mile to get to where there were not people using worms. I hate when people use worms when I'm trying to fly fish. I can't compete. Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there? So far we've got some nice tight choppy range action. 5 more minutes and I've made my goal of not trading in the first 15, although I would have had a nice profit because I just knew, quote unquote, that price was going to rotate to this. Freaking A, man. All right, let's look at the trading view chart. Okay, this is the 15-minute on the trading view. I do have my contracts rolled over. You might ask, when do you know when to roll your contracts over? Well, you roll your contract over when the volume is bigger than the one that you were on previously. So this morning when I checked, the volume was higher. So I said, it's time to roll over to the March. There's a bigger view on the 15-minute. See this range we have? I would still anticipate that the news at 9:45 could test the top of this news candle at 8:30, which, believe it or not, was the non-farm payrolls. I posed the question to myself earlier. I guess it was a what's the type of question when you ask it but you don't really expect an answer? I guess I should really expect those type of questions to be the norm on this channel, but not hypothetical. Not a soliloquy. When Shakespeare or whoever it was it Hamlet? He said, "To be or not to be, that is the question." He wasn't expecting an answer. He was just posing a question. It's sort of a pompous thing when you ask a question and you don't really want an answer. Like you just want to hear people, hear you ask the question. What is that called? Can anybody in the chat help me out? Let's see. Let me look it up on my phone because I don't think my chat's going to come through for me today. Based on who's in here, I'm not expecting any help. Sorry, doctor. Sorry, doctor. Hey, why don't you put up the other account too so I can at least have 2 viewers right now? Rhetorical. It's called a rhetorical question. When you ask a question you don't really want an answer, but you just want other people to hear you ask the question for some reason, probably ego related. That's called a rhetorical question. To trade or not to trade, that is the question. Hello, hello, is there anybody out there? Hey, can y'all hear my music? I hope I'm not playing copyrighted music today. I got a ding from YouTube yesterday. I didn't realize I was playing The Weeknd. Whoops. They didn't give me a violation though. All right, we've got 15 seconds left for a red folder news event. Red folder news event. Here we go. What's the catalyst to the price action? Does the market even care? Based on the first 10 seconds, it's not that big a news item. Let's see. See if we get any movement or if price just continues to chop and flop. Doctor, you remember how when we were making plans to go fishing, how Emily thought that was so cute that we were going fishing together? Nothing happened. It was a big nothing burger of a news event. More choppy range happened. So far, no. You haven't been listening, obviously. I've been talking to you this whole time, apparently posing only rhetorical questions. But I realize you're busy. Hey, if you see a long, go for it. I saw a long earlier that I didn't take as I was sitting on my stool, but one of the things I determined today was not to take a trade in the first 15 minutes, and I was successful in that. But what I see here is a bunch of chop and BS action. However, that being said, let's look at some levels that could be magnets, right? Which you got a lot of roadblocks in the way, but check this out. You got overnight high, 200 EMA, and a pivot point. Those are a lot of magnets. And this is a big news candles, believe it or not. Non-farm payroll was released today, so I bet the top of that gets tested at some point, and we might be about to test it. Let's see, 351, 381. I bet it tests the top of this news candle. I'm going in to test the top of the news candle. I think it's going to. It's not high quality enough. Yeah, it probably will. And here's the NinjaTrader. This is a 5-minute chart. Look at this range we have. It might even go all the way to this pivot point. Yeah, if you had taken that long, you could have gotten like 50 points. But it's like I was saying earlier, because when you weren't listening, but I saw you were on the stream, let me show you something. if when price was right about here, I thought it was gonna test the high of this bear candle, and it did on the next one, but I wasn't in it because I was too afraid to take it. These last few days have shaken my confidence on my discretionary trading. So the way to get that back for me is to wait for only highest probability and take those. And in this chop and range, that's not high probability for me. It might be for some people, but you know, what can you do? Watch it pop all the way to that pivot. Let's go back to the 5. Check it out. If I had to guess, I would say it tests the top of the news candle. But there's just too much junk in the way. Which coincidentally was the overnight high. This is the 15-minute. I'm too trigger shy. I've lost my confidence. Ever since I aped out yesterday, oh man, that took a big toll on me. There it goes. Unbelievable. Probably gonna test the 200 next. See, it just took the top of the news candle like I anticipated. Yeah, your long was right. And does it keep going? Probably. All right. I'm going in for a test of the 200. Yeah, I'm playing a breakout. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, it's got a hard cushion. Yeah, I know. I'm not taking it. I pulled the trade. Today might just be a stool day. My confidence is shattered. Watch it pop right up to the 200 without me. That'll be the next thing it does. You can do that if you want to. I don't think I'm going to do anything today, honestly, except watch it. Like I told you, I'm on my stool. My confidence is less than zero. You can't, if your confidence is low and you're not feeling it, you shouldn't get in a trade because that's scared money. I'm too scared. I'll tell you what though, if it came down here, that might be a more reasonable place to buy. I'm only gonna look, well, no, hold on. Yeah, I mean, it could. I mean, you've got long wicks everywhere, a lot of indecision, a lot of overlapping candles. Means range. Ranges. Even the volume by price confirms the range. I think it's going to test the 200 though. But I don't think it will that strongly. Because, now I'll tell you, if this stuff wasn't to the left and it was heading up, like, if it was different context and it was moving like this, I'd be in long to the 200, but I've been burned so many times trying to anticipate that with jump to the left, I can't do it today. Are you in the stall today? Or right now, I should say. So we got 5 minutes in this 15-minute candle. I think it goes to the pivot. Top's going to be below this entry candle. Okay. 419, okay. That's my order to go long. My stop's gonna be, that's too big of a stop, man. Can't do that. Look at the ATR. The average true range is like 50. Here's the 5 minute. All right, I'm going for it. The real small size. Like a little sissy boy. And then if it runs up to the 200, we'll catch that move. Let's see. 93, 419 is my target. Dang. We'll see what happens. Anticipating a move to the 200. Hope we can make it. Probably not, based on how it's been. I just need a win though to get my confidence back. I think it tests the 200, man. Maybe. You ready to do the nuclear sound effect on this video? So close. My stop will be about 370. Okay. Target will be 419 if we get tagged in. Got 2 minutes before the top of the hour. Let's see what happens. Got a minute left in this candle. Let's see if they can push it to the 200 here. Maybe, maybe not. Nope. Another loss incoming. When you enter, you want to see an immediate thrust in your direction. You don't want to see this. Come on, it's so close. Just take it to the 200. You can do it. Got a strong close. Let's see. Do they take it? Push it up. Do they push it up or do they flop it? Come on, guys. Punch it up. It'd be nice to get a win, but I don't think it's going to happen today. Not unless they make a quick burst. Maybe they will. There's a pivot point up there in a 200 EMA, but that might not be enough today. Come on. Punch it. Let's see. Yeah, 419 is my target. See if it can push up there, if it just fiddles around. Come on. This is not looking good. It's not pushing up like I wanted it to. Another loss for Mr. Joseph Trades, and we're done. All right. Before I tilt and blow yet another account, I'm shutting it down. I just can't buy a win. I suck, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.